to another package of news from the power sector, produced by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is Power Wheel, and I am Chinwenwa Anyao. As usual, we bring to fore achievements in the power industry, and these are encapsulated in our curtain raiser, the Power News segment. The federal government has inspected over 200 solar-powered homes across 2 communities in Kaduna State and the 1.2 megawatt solar plant at Lower Usuma Water Treatment Plant in Buari, Abuja.
The Director of Human Resources, Power Sector at the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Chubadu Jada, during the inspection tour across the FCT and Kaduna State, said the essence was to appreciate the works executed by the government in the area of electricity supply, just as he was informed that the 215 megawatts Kaduna thermal plant had reached 70% completion.
The essence of going around for today is comparison. We started with solar power. Now we are on to gas.
The Assistant Chief Electrical Engineer of the Renewable and Rural Power Access Department of the Ministry, Engineer Temitope Dina, who conducted officials round the 3 solar sites, said the solar plant, worth 980 million Japanese yen, about 3.3 billion naira, at the water treatment plant, was built by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and commissioned in 2016 and 2017.
The comfort of our office, we can disconnect. Like the other guy was complaining, he has to come down and fix and all that. This system from the office, if someone is stealing energy or abusing the system, we can shut him down.
Dina said the facility had generated 229,000 kilowatt per hour since it was commissioned and has helped to save 72,000 kilograms of carbon emission. For February alone, it generated 102,000 kilowatts per hour. The head of unit solar at the FCT Water Board, Olufemi Oyekenu, said the energy facilities help them to save about 20 million naira monthly on electricity bill for the water plant, adding that 1,245 megawatt per hour was generated in 2017. At Nami Village, the 150 kilowatt per hour solar farm constructed by Huawei has provided uninterrupted electricity for over 100 households in the last 3 years. The project manager, Aldi Amego, said,
per month, every month, each house, just 300. But for the commercial value, like paying with smart card, no. Whenever any card, like today now, house 12, his own card, this thing is, when it has 4 units, the meter goes off. So I just recharge for it. That one is free for now, pending when either NEC or MOW make available the normal tariff for them, maybe after the concession and all that. So the 300 naira is for security. Some guys stay in the night. Why some guys stay? Then the task force that goes around.
At Pakau community, still in Kaduna State, the Chief Business Officer of Emerald Global Resources, the contractor for the project, Mr. Bello Yusuf, said the innovative 90 kilowatts PV solar plant serves 2 communities, 100 homes, 7 commercial outlets, and 35 street lights, far from the national grid.
The total capacity is 40 kilowatts, and then 100 households enjoy it with their own prepaid meter. Then the youth in the community, they form a group as a security for this project, because there was a day they came to finalize this area, but through the youth, we were able to recover the solar panels. We have almost 160 panels, each is 250 watts.
The project manager at the 215 megawatt Kaduna Thermal plant, Engineer Ogboma Austin, gave the progress report in the 8 unit turbines. He said it was at 70% completion that one of the transmission switch yards designed to provide constant electricity for the industries at Kudenda Industrial Layout was ready.
Various technical staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have undergone a 5-day training session conducted by Nissin Electric of Japan on the operation and maintenance of capacitor banks. Take a listen.
The session consisted of classroom work at the TCN headquarters in Abuja and a field work on the system at the Kefi substation in Nasarawa State, where the capacitor banks were installed. The trainer from the Nissin Electric team, Shujinda Shinepta, said the project is about operating the 132 kV transmission equipment, which was donated through the Japanese grant.
For this project, the benefit is improve the voltage drop to sustainable energy supply to TCN. Also, next project is contribute to Nigerian electricity network for sustainable energy to your customer.
The trainer, who has 25 years of experience working with Nissin of Japan, said the capacitor bank project cost about $1.5 million and that the Japanese government was responsible for the payment through the JICA project grants.
All of the equipment comes from Japan. Japan's product is very reliable and quality is very good. I believe that our equipment is operate over 30 years without any trouble.
The managing director of Stevenson Brothers Limited, Engineer Ademola Dada, said the project was financed by JICA and the manufacturer in Japan. Nissin Electric executed the project. He said the capacitor bank is one of the many equipment that assist the stability of power across substations.
Nissin Electric Japan is one of the best manufacturers of substation equipment. And because they want quality for Nigeria, they call on Nissin Electric Japan to construct and manufacture the equipment to be used for TCN in Nigeria.
Dada said, beside the project at Kefi substation, there was another at Apu substation in Abuja under the same grants from Japan. Apapa, Isolo, Akamba substations in Lagos will also benefit from it, he added. The station supervisor for Kefi substation, Sam Newton John, explained the benefit of the capacity building training for the project.
It's going to be a very good, yes, for a very long for the entire staffs of KVTS and every other staffs in the system. So the training is, to enhance and acquaint us for us to know the mode of, operation.
One of the trainers said the training was necessary to upgrade staff knowledge in handling the sensitive equipment. At the headquarters, the AGM Design and Standard, Engineer MB Iza, said the training was successful and that the hands-on training was held to ensure that TCN operators could operate and maintain all components of the capacitor banks at Kefi and Apo substations.
The aim of this training is to acquaint the participant on how to operate this equipment safely, how to carry out periodic checks and maintenance of this equipment in event where there is fault.
The managing director, Mr. Usman Gul Mohammed, lauded the government of Japan for the assistance in installing the capacitor banks and the upgrading of Apapa and Agangba substations, as well as other projects at the Lagos region.
Also a grant. It's not a, we are not paying, it's also a grant. They are also supporting us to rehabilitate Akamba. They are going to change all the equipment in Akamba. They are going to change it. They may not upgrade the transformer, but all the accessories in Akamba is going to be changed. We are also working with them again, not only that, you know, like Oliver Twist. We are working with them to rehabilitate Isolo, Ikeja West, Ota, and Ojo. All these are lined up. And all these are grants that is going to be given to us from the Japanese government. If you look at the total cost of what I've mentioned here now, it's more than $100 million. So this is grant to Nigeria. So
he said that TCN is organizing the training based on the needs to fulfill its role in the power sector, adding that the company is reintroducing pupillage of new engineers to ensure that they are properly grounded on the rudiments of equipment servicing and maintenance.
Under our leadership, we approve the coming back of pupillage so that any new engineer that comes in is going to pass through a 1-year pupillage training where he passed through all the segments before his release.
One of the trainees, Anthony Agomadu, from the 330 kV transmission Alauji substation in Abia State, lauded the training sessions, adding that it has a significant impact on their professionalism.
Like I said, I'm coming from Port Harcourt region, far from here. And we are going to go back to my station and we look at the similar voltage drop situations that we have in the stations in Port Harcourt region and see how they compare to the situation that we have understudied and that we've tried to solve at Kefi. And we'll be in a position to make recommendations to the management at Port Harcourt region and even at headquarters. So I think the training has had some impact in the sense that it has made us well equipped to advise our management on how to solve some of these problems.
The MD of TCN presented certificates of participation to the trained staff at the end of the 5-day training session.
Last week on the program, we told you about efforts by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to replace the faulty 60 MVA power transformer in Karu substation. Today, we are glad to inform you, our viewer, that TCN has almost completed the installation of a brand new 60 MVA transformer at the 132 by 33 kV Karu transmission substation to boost power supply to the residents of Karu and its environs in Abuja. The report.
The principal manager, Transmission, Abuja Sub-Region, Musa Shuaibu, at the installation site, said the 60 MVA capacity transformer for the 132.33 kV Karu substation was being installed by TCN engineers.
As you can see, the work on the installation of the 60 MVA transformer TR1 132.3 kV transformer is ongoing in Karu substation here. We've been here since morning. The remaining materials that we're looking for or expecting to come, that is the conservator tank, the piping, and the other materials, the HV and LV turret are all available. We've installed the primary side and the secondary side. We're going to do the piping today and hopefully tomorrow. Between 8 to 10, we hope to finish coupling the transformer tomorrow while we await the arrival of oil. Then the PCIM crew are coming in on Monday to do their wiring, carry out functional tests. We do filtration, then possibly at most in the next 10 days, we hope to power the transformer.
He lauded the management for having confidence in the ability of TCN engineers to execute the installation project rather than going through contractual processes.
And we thank the management of TCN for giving us the opportunity. They believe in us And one thing I want everybody to know is that Abuja sub-region has been the champion. We've installed many transformers, and God willing, we are not going to fail the management.
Clarifying the issue of poor power supply in the Karu axis in recent times, Shuaibu said the station had to serve 4 feeders through 1 transformer, and that meant rotating power supply at a time to AEDC's feeders servicing Karu and environs.
All this will be over in the next 2 weeks when this transformer come on board. Besides that, we have 2 spare feeders here. Each of the 60 MVA transformer is supposed to carry 3 feeders of at most 20 megawatts. But incidentally, that is not the case. Right from the onset, that has not been the case. It has only been 4 feeders. So we have 2 spare feeders here that can be radiated from this place. So I believe by the time this thing is done, I think they should do the needful. Everything is in place, the breakers are available, the panels are available, just to pick load and give the customers.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, who had earlier on visited the Karu substation to assess installation works in the substation, had mandated that the remaining accessories be brought in from Port Harcourt to complete installation works. The station supervisor for Karu substation, Naftali Ilya Kondepomi, said that the new transformer procured by TCN and brought in through Oner Port in Port Harcourt was a permanent solution to increasing power transmission capacity of the substation. Naftali said on completion of the installation that the substation will have its full capacity restored to start supplying up to 96 megawatts of electricity.
We hope by the time this will be in, very soon, not long, this month, by God's grace, everything will be okay.
The 60 MVA power transformer accessories, including the cooling fins, fans, conservator tanks, control panel, wiring, etc., have all been completed. The transformer is undergoing commissioning tests. The completion of commissioning tests precedes the powering of the transformer on Saturday, 10th March 2018.
As part of its continuous efforts at expanding and fortifying energy wheeling capacity to its customer, the distribution companies, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Osogbo region has begun its process of converting its 33 kV indoor switchgear to modern outdoor type at its Ile-Ife 132 kV substation.
The Assistant General Manager Osogbo Sub-Region, Olaniyi Oladele, said the Osogbo Sub-Region was critical to the stability of the national transmission grid as it regulates the frequency of the thermal generation plants, mainly in the south, and the hydropower stations in the north.
Osogbo 330 kV substation is very strategic in the national grid. This substation connects the pool of the hydro generating station in the north, Kanji, Jeva up to Shiroro. It connects it to the thermal station in the south. The thermal station in the south is Bene Saple. Another thing that the substation has again is restoration of supply. Anytime there is system outage, usually through our line from Benin, it is then they will be able to restore up to Shiroro and the Federal Capital Territory. And of course, it equally forms one of the old types of the grid system. That is Benin, Osogbo, Ikeja West axis, which is very, very, very essential for stability of the system.
Sagamu is a critical area for us because we have a lot of industries in Sagamu. Therefore, we are installing 2x60 MVA transformer in addition to 2x30 MVA transformer we have at Sagamu. And because the indoor, Merco type indoor is giving us a lot of problems, we have decided to construct outdoors 33 kV switchgears in Sagamu. Additional to that, we are constructing another control room.
He said because of the operational constraint and deficiency in wheeling energy to Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company and Benin Electricity Distribution Company, the management of TCN embarked on outright conversion of the defective and obsolete switch gears. He said the conversion to a modern switch gear will ensure that the industries in those areas are well served, just as he mentioned other transformer installation projects in Isheyi, Oyo State, reconducting of lines in Shagamu, among others.
All the indoor 33 kV will be taken out so that they will be outdoors, maintained for maintainability purpose, so that all the industries around that loop can be well served.
For the bus bar replacement on the transmission substation, he said they will make operation flexible while enabling the wheeling of more electricity to customers in Shagamu, Ile-Ife, the Obafemi Awolowo University, and other environs in Osun State. He commended the management of TCN, especially the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Usman Guru Mohammed, for providing the funding and required materials for the project. Oladele said more investments are coming in terms of upgrading the transmission lines to cope with the several new transformer installations at Shagamu, Ijebu-Ode, and other substations under the region.
Up next is a package of more reports in tidbits. It's the Power Flash. Time now for a short break on the program. More to come. Please stay tuned.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has two business units: the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprised of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wheeling power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
Those of you who listened to President Buhari's speech on the 1st of January, it was a very, very clear and unequivocal commitment to infrastructure, including power. And he told you, and me, and all of us, that there was more power coming this year. He spoke about the Azura power plant, which is now in test production. He spoke, and that's 459 megawatts of power coming, for sure. He spoke about the Afam power plant, 240 megawatts of power, which is also in the final stages of installation. He spoke about Kaduna, Katsina, Gurara, Kashimbila, and Zungeru power plants, which are in various stages of development. So more inventory is coming. Do we want to keep it in the warehouse? So we need to use it.
You can as well speak to us through our Vox Pop. Let's hear from you.
Actually, I can't say that it's 100%. The NEPA is trying.
Not much like that. Sometimes you pay and you not get NEPA lights, and sometimes you just, I don't even understand. The bill these days is just too high. And if you just check the value of the things you have in the house, the bill is more than what you have in your house.
Yes, I do. The only thing, Nigeria is full of challenges.
And that's the size of our package of Power Wheel this week. We thank you so much for being a part of this edition of the program. You can reach us through the various platforms showing on your screen. My name is Chinwenwa Anyao. See you next time. Bye for now.